So, have you noticed some strange new voices coming from your kitchen lately? No, you're not going crazy. Turns out it's just artificial intelligence, and wow, does it have some strong opinions about how you store your groceries. So, what's the deal?
I mean, if you've been on social media at all lately, you've definitely seen them. These animated fruits and vegetables taking over TikTok and Instagram, dishing out kitchen advice with a whole lot of attitude. It all kicked off with videos just like this. A desperate tomato begging you not to put it in the fridge, or pasta literally pleading with you to stop adding oil to the boiling water. It's bizarre, right? But it's also hilarious, and get this, it actually works. And oh yeah, people are reacting. As one user put it, after watching a frantic cake warn them not to open the oven door, the cake means to calm down. I mean, the tone is just so aggressive, so desperate, you can't forget it.
But underneath all the jokes, there's something really clever going on here. They're basically teaching us adults the kitchen basics we were maybe too embarrassed to ask about. So that's the real question, isn't it? Like, why do we listen to a cartoon veggie when we might tune out a celebrity chef? Well, it turns out there's some really cool psychology behind it all.
So, according to media psychologist Dr. Pamela Rutledge, it all boils down to one thing: judgment. Think about it. When a real person gives you advice, it can feel kind of like they're saying you should have known that. But a cartoon? A cartoon can call you names, and it just doesn't sting. It completely bypasses our ego. So, what we're looking at here is a totally judgment-free zone for learning. It's fast, it's fun, and hey, you don't have to worry about looking dumb in front of an animated avocado. Win-win.
Okay, but here's where this whole thing gets really wild. That same AI, the one that can figure out what a sassy tomato's trying to say, well, that same technology is being used in high-tech food science labs to crunch some seriously complex human feedback. It's a huge leap.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about how AI is becoming a kind of creative partner for some of the best chefs in the world. I love this quote from master sommelier Francois Chartier because it just perfectly captures the magic of food. That when you put the right ingredients together, you get something totally new. And that idea, that's exactly what AI is starting to tap into.
So a great example of this is Sony AI's gastronomy project. They're actually building an app that crunches a ton of data. We're talking taste, smell, even molecular structures. And then it spits out these wild flavor pairings a human chef would probably never even dream of. I mean, get this: sea urchin, cheese, and chocolate. Together. Yeah, AI came up with that.
And this really highlights the huge shift we're seeing. A traditional recipe is all about recreating something that's been made before, but this AI-powered approach, it's all about creating something brand new, from scratch, pushing the absolute limits of flavor.
Okay, so this isn't just some high-end thing for fancy restaurants. AI is already showing up on the shelves of your local supermarket.
A perfect real-world example? Check out the Kraft Heinz Nut Company. It's this joint venture, and they used AI to figure out how to make their new plant-based cheese slices taste and feel just like the real deal. All right, now let's get into what I think is the coolest part of all of this: how AI is starting to actually quantify our cravings and decode the mystery of human taste. This whole area is called sensory science. And for ages, food companies have been trying to figure out how to scientifically measure our experience with food. But they've always hit this one giant roadblock. And that roadblock is us. Human feedback is just messy. It's subjective. I mean, what do you do with a comment like, "it has a weird aftertaste"? There's good info in there, for sure, but how on earth do you turn that feeling into cold, hard data? Well, this is where researchers at Cornell University had a breakthrough. They used a really powerful language model, a type of generative AI called Roberta. They basically fed this AI thousands and thousands of comments from real taste testers. And they trained it to do one thing: predict the score, like 1 to 9, that a person would give a product just based on what they wrote about it. And there's a brilliant analogy for this. Think of it this way. Every time the AI goes through a training epic, it's like it's doing a round of taste testing. It tastes the data, sees if it got the score right, and adjusts. And just like a person, the more it tastes, the better it gets. And wow, the results are pretty incredible. So check this out. The blue dots here are the AI's predictions, and they're plotted against the actual scores from the humans. You can see how closely they line up. It's shockingly accurate. So here's the big takeaway. The more detailed the comment, the better the AI gets. Saying something tastes good doesn't give it much to go on. But saying something like the salty caramel flavor has this amazing, creamy mouthfeel and a really pleasant aftertaste, that is data the AI can really sink its teeth into. The details are everything.
So when you put all these pieces together, you can start to see a pretty wild future for how our food gets made. The end game for this Cornell research is to create what they call a digital twin of a sensory panel. Just try to imagine this, a virtual group of taste testers that can tell you exactly how people will react to a new food before you even make the first batch. I mean, this could completely change the game for product development. It would be so much faster, way cheaper, and incredibly precise. Which brings us to one last really big question. We've gone from sassy vegetables on TikTok all the way to creative partners in the world's best kitchens. It's clear AI is changing our relationship with food in a fundamental way. So, what do you think? In the future, is the next great culinary masterpiece going to come from human or from an algorithm?